You're welcome.
Hi, do you know if they've had any success at all with Lou Gehrig's disease, and if so, which treatment?
The only report I can report you is one. According to Francisco Contreras, he treated one Lou Gehrig with Chondriana treatment, and it was successful. I have no report on it, and it's according to his saying, but that's all I know. Now, recently, a couple of cases came up, and I believe that the clinics who are doing the clinical studies, they will include a couple of Lou Gehrig to see how the Chondriana is working, hopefully documenting it.
And how would I find out about the documentation?
Well, as soon as we have it, then we will disclose it. It's a very recent, we don't have anything going on right now, but we're working on that.
Well, but I mean, how would I get this piece of paper that has it on?
Well, we're upgrading our clinical data book every 30 or 60 days, and we disclose all the clinical data which we're receiving in writing from the various clinics on the world. And it's available. If people either get our clinical data book or call in periodically, then we can tell.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, Dr. Merkl, I would be interested in your understanding of the disease process, multiple sclerosis, and how light crystals can help, and what the protocol for administration would be.
Yes. Now, well, again, we have to differentiate between light crystal and Chondriana. Multiple sclerosis is a disease, and light crystal is not going to put the disease into remission. The first group of people have been treated with Chondriana about 2.5 years ago with multiple sclerosis. Out of those, 2 of them got out of the wheelchair, and one of them we keep close contact. He was in the wheelchair for 14 years. The third one from Colorado, I believe, didn't have any use of her arm. Just going through one treatment, she was able to comb her hair and start using her arm. Recently, we have Dr. Sanchez Carrillo with the same area code I just gave out before, 0115216. 1606. His telephone number in Juarez, Mexico. Dr. Carrillo. Now, he treated one 27-year-old young man in Dallas, Texas. He threw away his canes, he resumed normal life, he's driving car, and was very successful. That's the latest one. This happened just recently.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
Are you able to venture an opinion as to the process itself of the disease and the cause?
Well, I don't really know the process of the disease. I did a lot of culturing about 3 years ago on multiple sclerosis, and it's a crystal. The way the disease, whatever the disease is, it grows like a crystal, and then the crystal producing a lot of spores. They branch out, and I did about 40 cases, and in every case, the same type of crystal, like a snowflake. It started out 120 degrees apart, and it's branched out really very beautiful, the way like dendrites, the way it was spreading out, and then just turning into branches and producing a lot of spores. And the only tie-in which I had to multiple sclerosis correlating all 40 cases had exactly the same thing, and in no other culture I have ever seen that. It's only specifically multiple sclerosis. So something has to do with it, and I have that on videotape. It's about 15 minutes tape to show it, what it is and how it spreads in vitro. I used to take the blood from people with different if you take an electron, okay, it takes 900 and weigh their mass. And if you take a neutron and weigh their mass, you will find out that the mass of 918 pairs of electrons is equivalent to the mass of a neutron, the equal weight. Now, when a neutron is losing an electron, becomes a proton, the weight of the mass of the neutron becomes less by the mass of one electron. And if you take the photon and you compare the photon to the electron, you find the same conclusion. But since the universe was formed from free energy, scalar waves, which moves through time and space in 3 dimensions, that's in a vortex, inverting vortex. And that's the imprint of the universe. That's the signature of the universe. And you find that imprint everywhere, regardless where you go, on the galaxies, on the black holes, on the human DNA, on the sea animals, because seawater picks up a lot of free energy, and you constantly running into the imprint of the universe, which is the free energy moving through time and space in a vortex fashion. And because the free energy which is produced by the during the Big Bang, and this free energy where everything is coming from, because the whole universe was produced from them. All the suns and stars, all the galaxies, all the matter formation came from this free energy, and that free energy breathed into the photons. And the 918 pairs is the magic number, which if you check the mass ratio between the particles, you find out that it's for real. Beside that, also when the free energy breathed into 918 pairs into photon, that's the way light was born. Now, when you want to take light apart, you have to start breaking up the wavelength of the photons. And this is what light crystal does. The first time that we are able to take a photon and split the wavelength and changing the wavelength of the light, because you're turning it back to free energy, to the same particles, the free energy particles. And actually, the photon is nothing more but a static field. Now, I made my first breakthrough in the early 1960s when I discovered the static field deriving it from the atmosphere. And that's when I developed my first cold fusion process, which was pulling the energy out of the atmosphere, free energy. There was no energy input, and we're producing enormous amount of heat, enormous amount of hydrogen, and a byproduct, the pentoxyhydrate, which is space dust. They used to call it space dust because it's weird, the way it looks like. And it contains half isotopes, and it all has been produced from free energy. And the free energy in the reactor, special reactor which I built, you could see the scroll waves imprinted in a superconductive media. And that's the properties of a superconductive media. When you imprint a field, it will stay there and keeps up moving and moving and moving. You can observe it all day long. And that's the first time I discovered the scroll waves, actually seeing scroll waves implanted into superconductive field. And the result of that was an issued patent. By the way, that patent, which has been ignored by the world, it should have been taught in every school in the country in the past 30 years. And everybody ignored it. And now they try to discover it. Even our government try to discover it, and they keep bothering me now. They want to work with me on that area because they find it very exciting to get into anti-gravity and all the research they're doing. But basically, that's the short story on it.